Well, I sat down here 5 minutes ago thinking I'm going to be making a video on Bristol City's match tomorrow against Millwall at home to kick off the home championship campaign. Nope, that's all been ripped out, chucked out the window because a certain Scott Twine has returned to Ashton Gate on a permanent deal. Bristol City have announced the signing of Burnley playmaker Scott Twine after he spent 6 months on loan at Ashton Gate towards the back end of last season. And as you can clearly tell, I'm quite happy and very excited that this move has happened. As I said, Scott Twine spent the last 6 months of last season on loan at Ashton Gate. He scored twice in 9 appearances, 9 starts, and just whenever he was in the team, Bristol City looked like they were a much better kind of organised unit, a little bit more in the forward regions as well. And when we went on that unbeaten run towards the back end of last season under Manning, Scott Twine and his reintroduction to the team after that 2-0 defeat away at West Brom kind of correlated with that good run. So I think it's been no secret, and I've mentioned this loads of times, Bristol City have been after Scott Twine for the duration of this transfer window because of the impact he had. Not necessarily in terms of goals and assists, because 2 in 9 starts is a decent return for someone who's just joined the club, but it was more about the impact he had on the team and the fact that Liam Manning has worked with him, and it would be kind of an easy fit as well, and that was proven to be the case for the last 6 months of last season, and clearly we trust him again to go again. He signed a 4-year deal after returning on a permanent deal this time around, and that kind of shows the commitment, and from both sides, from City and from Twine. Twine has clearly wanted to be here, or some of them, multiple murmurings, reports that he's wanted to work with Liam Manning again, and obviously the offer of more game time, more regular game time at Bristol City than would have been at Burnley, where they have a lot of options in that number 10 or out wide regions, and kind of Scott Parker kind of umming and ahhing over whether he wants to keep Scott Twine or not. It was more of a stable environment, I'd say, at Bristol City compared to Burnley, for him anyway, and not for some of the other players up there at Burnley. But from a Scott Twine perspective, it would have made sense to come down here, close to his family as well, and working with Liam Manning, and a really good manager, but also someone who got the best out of him at MK Dons, had the best season of his career at MK Dons under Liam Manning, who ripped up League One, and that's why he got the move to Burnley in the end. So it just feels like a perfect match. A couple of days ago, we officially announced the signing of George Earthy on a season-long loan from West Ham, and considering West Ham have loaned one of their more promising youngsters to the Championship, is probably to get game time. And if we do continue with this 4-2-3-1 we're currently deploying, that will mean just a single central attacking midfielder position, and considering George Earthy's is the kind of player to play in that position, whether Scott Twine signing will affect his game time, might hinder it. Nevertheless, it's really good to have 2 really solid Championship players, hopefully from an Earthy perspective, really promising players in the same position competing, because it hasn't really felt like we've had that in recent years, especially in the forward region. So it's really exciting, and it's really good for competition as well. In the last 2 games, and first 2 games of Bristol City's campaign, against Hull and especially against Coventry, it's kind of felt like there's been a lot of good play, there's been a lot of patterns, been nice and kind of composed and very detailed oriented, but it's felt like we've missed that final link in the final third at points, and especially against Coventry, it's completely on show, where we're having someone like Taylor Garn-Hickman, who's very good at what he does, but he's not a number 10. He's not someone who's going to create something out of nothing. Since then, the fact that we've signed 2 players in those attacking regions who literally have been signed, and the profiles have been, go and unlock defences, go and win games for Bristol City, go and feed strikers, give them chances, is massively promising. And it's good that we've been proactive, and we've not just settled on Twine, but going and signing Earthy as well. Massively confidence boosting, and very inspiring from a Bristol City perspective. Ignoring that, and Scott Twine coming in, the best player in the world, Tommy Conway has departed Bristol City. He's officially joined Middlesbrough on a permanent deal, and a deal that's apparently worth up to about £5 million, 4.5 to £5 million. Really disappointed that it's ended this way. I think that's massively abundantly clear, but I think it's kind of, since that situation's kind of risen, it's been perfectly clear to everyone that he's going to go. It's a bit of an interesting move, because at the moment Middlesbrough have got Emmanuel Latte-Lath, who is just ripping the Championship apart. Really good towards the back end last season. Scored on the opening day against Swansea as well. So whether he's going to be competing with, whether he's going to start ahead of Emmanuel Atilath or not is very unlikely. I think he's not going to be doing that. Whether Michael Carrick tweaks the system to allow Tom Conway to play maybe in a deeper role, but then also signed Aidan Morris. I think what I'm saying here is he's going to be in a similar position, if not a worse situation at Middlesbrough. He's going to be working on a very good manager, Michael Carrick, but I'd argue, Liam Manning, kind of those young development, kind of CV, really. It's very similar, and Manning has got a really good reputation at West Ham, and just generally is well known for his ability to develop young players. So whether he could have stayed here and maybe added to the front force that we have at the moment would have been interesting, but ultimately that's not been the case, and he has moved up north to the northeast to the Riverside, and I wish him all the best. Back on the Scott Twine deal, it felt like the last couple of days that the deal was withering away. Bristol City weren't going to get it over the line, and there's too much of a gap in the valuations of Burnley, which is about the £5 million mark, and that was what they paid for him when they signed him from MK Dons after that impressive season in League One. And Bristol City's valuation, maybe the Tommy Conway deal going through has kind of instigated a bit more of a compromise, but it felt like it was not going to happen. But now it's happened. Apparently, Bristol City Live have reported that it's around £3.2 million with potential add-ons. Obviously, add-ons as well. Obviously going to be add-ons can get to the closer to the £5 million mark, but it'll be interesting to see what those add-ons are, whether that's Scott Twine related, whether they're Bristol City related in terms of what our performance is like this year. Will be very interesting to see. But yeah, it feels like a very good compromise and very good negotiation, and the patience that we've had on the Scott Twine deal is ultimately, at the moment, paid off. But yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching this video, everyone. Scott Twine is back. He's not here on a permanent. He's here to stay. 4-year deal for the attacking midfielder who really, really strengthens Bristol City's squad now. And yeah, we've look on paper, a fairly good side going into this new season under Liam Manning, and things look far more positive than they do now compared to a few days ago. But yeah, really good signing and very excited for it as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hit like if you haven't already subscribed to the channel for more Bristol City content in the future, and I'll catch you all later very soon. Cheers.